Mr. Barnier, the European Commission's top Brexit negotiator, promised Brexit would not mean members would need to increase their contributions to the EU's budget, which topped £136 billion last year. The EU was facing pressure from Germany, which feared it would be left to them, the EU's biggest contributor, to pick up the tab.Already calculations from Germany's Federal Court of Auditors estimated Berlin would have to boost its funding by about one-third, from €15 billion in 2015 to around €20 billion once the UK leaves. Fearing the prospect, Gunther Oettinger, the European Budget Commissioner, said the 27 states would have to fill the void that will be left by Britain. EPAMichel Barnier said the Brexit deal means UK will pay into the budget until 2020. Related articles: Brexit Phase 1 Deal in Full, the 7,000-word agreement. Read here. Ramona Vince Cable and Chugamana laugh at Theresa May's deal. The German politician said in August the EU must stop all rebates and tell all member states to pay more to bankroll common projects. Mr. Oettinger told Germany's Spiegel magazine, "I could imagine that we try to economize a part and that the remaining 27 member countries agree upon how to contribute the remaining amount." The German government's annual reports highlighted fears that Britain's departure could have a negative impact on the promotion of structurally weak regions. It said, the gross domestic product per capita in the EU will decrease with the departure of Great Britain. The EU will be on average purely statistically poorer, whereas Germany will be purely statistically richer. The positive economic development of the German regions compared to the rest of EU could lead to the fact that in the future the German regions would benefit less from the European structural funds. Thomas Kruger, a Social Democrat spokesman for the state of Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania, NWP, went to Brussels in September to demand answers, telling reporters Brexit would rip a hole of around €10 billion, £9. To begin, into the EU budget. Speaking after Theresa May and European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker signed off Phase 1 of the Brexit talks, which hinged on the divorce bill, Mr. Barnier said, "No member state will have to pay more or receive less because of Brexit," and that is what Theresa May said in her major speech in Florence. The UK will honour all the commitments they entered into during membership. The UK will pay neither more or earlier than if it was a member state. On this basis we have agreed on the components of the financial settlements and principles and have calculated the value of the payments. Despite Britain and the EU agreeing the terms of the settlement, nothing has been decided on the value of the divorce bill. Getty. Gunther Oettinger is looking at ways to cut EU costs to prevent Germany's bill soaring. But Britain will continue to fund projects across the EU, which included £400 million to renew a 40-mile stretch of a motorway in Poland this year while the UK's road networks crumble, and £145,000 to print 736 postcards to reflect the current problems in Europe that generate social exclusion. Mr. Barnier said Britain will pay into the 2019-20 budget as if it were a member state. He added, the UK will participate in programs from 2014 to 2020 beyond the withdrawal date. All commitments entered by the 28 will be honoured by the 28. Related articles: Juncker's power pad on May. Body language expert reveals the truth. Brexit news. Michel Barnier switches to French midway through speech. Britain's final Brexit bill estimated at just under £40 billion.